So here's a pretty entertaining karma story about a guy who, 8 months after his ex-girlfriend ruined the relationship by cheating on him, his ex-girlfriend of 7 years, well, here we are now in the present day, and things aren't going too well for her with the guy that she cheated on him with. She got a lot more than she bargained for, if you will. Let me go over making the point that you wait long enough, in time you will see karma strike those that do you wrong. Titled, A Year Later, Karma Punchline. And a shout out to Lionel for sending this story. It says here, it's been a little over a year after my ex-girlfriend of 7 years cheated on me. Okay, my bad, it's been a year. She cheated on me with a random guy and then immediately jumped on a relationship with him. Well, that's what they do. I'd probably one of the best years of my life since. I achieved multiple long-time objectives of mine, and life couldn't have been sweeter. Well, that's great. He really bounced back after her ending it with him cheating on him. Look what can happen when you are free. It's been almost 8 months since I've talked with my ex, and I don't want to know anything about her life or her. I'm just over her. Most of our last conversations, she's been really regretful because, well, the grass is not greener on the other side. Aw, poor her. Now we know why he says that his life has just been so sweet and great. Yesterday I talked to a mutual friend, which I haven't talked to in a year almost. During our conversation, he told me there is something he wanted to share with me, but he shouldn't. I hate when people do that. I'd be like, spit it out. Get to the freaking point, man. You're going to tell me anyway. Just say it. I told him I don't give an F about her, and he can do as he pleases, and I literally do not care. Well, he proceeded to tell me that he's been keeping in touch with my ex, and that she's been opening up a lot about her current situation. My ex is an incredibly physically beautiful woman with a very high libido, so you need to keep up with her. Oh darn, for the guy that's with her, but you know what, you can't trust her. Already you can tell his ex is someone that's strictly a friends with benefits type, nothing more, or a hookup. And by the way, this buddy of his who also talks to his ex, he mentions later on that he's aware of this and he's cool with it. Well, it turns out that her new boyfriend ended up being secretly bi, but mostly 80% favoring guys, and that they barely hook up, and she told me she's complaining all the time about the dude, and when my friend offered her a gig so she can make extra cash, she kind of tried to offer herself to him, and that according to him, she sounds desperate to find a guy who can solve and save her life. The dude she was cheating on this guy with and ended the relationship for, 80% of the time prefers guys. So she left him for some beef, but that guy's getting his beef someplace else. He prefers beef himself. Instead of actually healing and trying to make her own life better, as we're both in our 30s. Well, my friend cut her off and told her that she's getting the wrong idea. He was only trying to help her out. This dude's trying to help her out with a gig, make some extra cash, and she's trying to, throw herself at him. Clearly, this woman, the only thing she has, and probably in her view, is her body, her looks to throw at. Well, that's going to fade with time, especially after the fact that she's in her 30s. I'm not going to lie, I do not care. But I don't know, I just feel like it's funny as fuck. I still wish her the best, but I'm so relieved she's not around anymore. Well, he does the big one. He could have married her. Yeah, notice he thinks it's funny. He doesn't care anymore. That's the power of indifference. As if I'm being honest, part of me, a shamefully revengeful part of me, thought of outing him. But that's not who I am, and it would be something not cool to do at all. Even though I hated that guy in the beginning, time made me realize he actually did me a big favor. He's secretly a friend, even though he doesn't know it. In other words, by this dude hooking up with my girlfriend and getting her to leave me, he did me a big favor because this guy can still be with her. It's not quite the way I look at it. Anybody that'd be banging a girlfriend of mine would be getting an ass whooping, but still, that's good he's no longer with her. I just feel like sharing this story here because I can't share it with anybody else without outing the guy. So yeah, karma, karma, karma. Have a great day, dudes and dudettes. So there you go, guys. And I'm going to read some comments here. This guy reveals more information in the comment section, but this makes the whole point. Number one, once a cheater, always a cheater. Because remember, this woman is now with this other guy who prefers dudes the majority of the time. And she wants to cheat on him. So this is just who she is. So you wait long enough, guys, you're going to see karma, those that do you wrong. Even though it could take 50 years, you're going to see it. And, of course, once a cheater, always a cheater, and all that. So, now, one guy comments to this dude. He says, "Hi, OP. Interesting life course. May I ask, did she tell you why she initially cheated on you? Please, you're never going to get a straight answer from a cheater and a liar. And second, why does she not cheat on this guy too? I mean, you said she's attractive, so it would be very difficult to find. It wouldn't be difficult to find another man for her. And the guy who wrote the story, the OP, says, "I never fully got an answer or closure on what was going on in her mind. That was my closure." Of course, he didn't get a straight answer from her. Knowing her for so long, I'm 99.99% sure it was out of lack of self-love and looking for validation from the outside while she was having a personal crisis. Yeah. Even though I helped her in ways you can't even imagine, it's never enough when you have a big hole in your heart. Honestly, I don't care why she's still with that guy, but probably she'll jump into another guy when she sees a better option. It's just a matter of time. I wouldn't be very surprised if she decides to be by herself. I would be very surprised if she decided to be by herself and find some self-love and growth. No, these types are never alone. They never work on themselves. They just jump from guy to guy to guy, and they never have to deal with the consequences of their actions or work on themselves. Because if they have to work on themselves, then they have to accept the fact that there's something wrong with them. And since women don't like to have any accountability about anything, or most don't, they're going to jump from guy to guy to guy. Another guy says to this guy here, "I know I commented above too, but I just want to say that I could have written this myself and wanted to ask you a question." As in, he's been through the same crap. How long did it take you to get over the betrayal and to the point where you are right now? It seems like there are a lot of similarities, so a rough timeline might at least be a little bit applicable. And the guy who wrote the story says, "Well, it wasn't easy for sure. I quickly, the day after finding out, understood that things happen for a reason, and this event had something more meaningful for me ahead." Well, that's a very different way to look at the situation, especially after he's been with her for 7 years. I was still devastated, but I knew that there was always a light out there. The hardest part was to deal with the disappointment honestly. I was never angry or had any hard feelings against her. I'm too empathetic to a fault, so knowing her so much, it was shocking, but the numbers add up. Do you know what I mean? Empathetic? Good Lord, man. I would say it probably took less than 10 months and with a lot of personal work and therapy as well. But please don't use my experience to compare. Each of us is different and had different relationships, different set of tools to deal with stuff and different circumstances. Also, I sold all my shit and moved halfway across the world to achieve my dreams, which also helped a lot. Best of luck to your healing buddy. So there you go, guys. This guy, yeah, he's having the last laugh, but also he chose to move on. He chose to let it impact him, and not most people aren't like that. But he became indifferent, having the time of his life, a great year, and that's awesome. So there you go, guys. Remember, once a cheater, always a cheater. You find out, break up with them because they're going to do it again on you. And usually the person they go with, they'll do it to them when their needs aren't being met. You can see it's already happening. And cheaters cheat for lots of reasons. The biggest reason is because they lose respect for the guy. He's become a big, giant man-gina. But that's not the only reason. Also because simply attention and validation. Or because they can. But anyhow, there you go. Karma, karma, karma.